That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Saudi Arabia has bought $300 million worth of spy software from Israel as part of a large-scale military deal. The anti-media report senior Arab sources say the deal was struck without a mediator, despite the fact that the two countries do not maintain formal diplomatic relations. The sources stress that the Saudi intelligence services have sought to obtain advanced spyware in order to trace the kingdom's citizens, both in the country and abroad, amidst increasing criticism of the Saudi royal family. Saudi Arabia reached out to the Israeli market and struck a deal worth $300 million with representatives of Israeli firms, adding that both sides met and reached the deal in UK capital London. According to the sources, Egypt and the United Arab Emirates know about the deal, which includes 1,000 small yet sophisticated tracking devices that can be placed in the target's mobile phone. Those attending Burning Man this year might need to reconsider the acid trip on the playa due to a policy that the Bureau of Land Management is thinking of implementing at this year's festival. The BLM might conduct drug screenings at the entrances of the festival at Black Rock Desert. That's according to a report from the Reno Gazette-Journal. Rudy Evenson, a spokesperson for BLM, told the Gazette-Journal that the federal agency could hire a private security firm to conduct drug screenings at the festival, or may wait until 2020 to implement the policy. The BLM released a 2-volume environmental impact statement on Burning Man on June 14th that stated the agency will contract third-party private security to screen vehicles and participants, vendors and contractors, and staff and volunteers entering the event that will report banned or illegal contraband or significant concerns directly to law enforcement as violations are observed so that law enforcement can respond. In an email to SF Gate, the Burning Man group said it's preparing a full statement on the BLM environmental impact statement that they will publish on the Burning Man Journal. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Publicists everywhere agreed this week that the nation's celebrities are in dire need of more fame, stressing that all 6 billion of the world's populace should know every U.S. celebrity by name and face by now. Publicists are calling for an emergency influx of buzz, heat, press, and word of mouth to be administered to the nation's celebrities immediately in order to prevent crucial fame levels from becoming dangerously low. Novelist Edward Milligan told reporters this week that in his new book, By the Water's Edge, he has fleshed out in meticulous detail his own huge and stunningly shitty world. Using in-depth research and the power of his own imagination, Milligan was able to conjure out of thin air every hackneyed character, trite street name, and horseshit backstory in the fictional town of Connors Cove. The complete hack proudly said he has created a universe that readers will feel they can actually reach out and touch. Sources say the prolific writer has not yet been punched repeatedly in the face. In other news, McDonald's opens a new senior citizen play place.
This is the Onion News Network.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. I'm your host, as always, Arya DiMezzo, composer of the music that you're hearing right now. You can listen to more of it at soundcloud.com/Arya DiMezzo. That song is called Mission Aborted, I think. There's 2 of them. There's Mission Aborted and Mission Accomplished. I really don't remember which one is which, but I'm pretty sure of that. Joined, as always, in the studio by
Michael Hampton from CryptoTip.org.
And I am still recovering from the vacation that turned out not to be a vacation. I mean, it was a vacation, but, there were lots of festivities.
No, so things happened.
Yeah, so it's not like there was a great deal of downtime or just, laying around. Physically, I'm fine, but mentally, I'm still not fully here. I mean, I was at the festival for 5 days, 6 days, I think, technically.
5 and a half,
nights.
something?
I'm not sure. 6 days and 5 nights, more or less. And of course, allegedly, there were a lot of psychedelics involved in this. And I returned home Tuesday afternoon and slept basically until the next day, and immediately woke up and had to get right back into the swing of things. Had to start calling radio stations for Free Talk Live and all of that good stuff, emailing people for Free Talk Live, and then come in to do the Call to Freedom, then go to my other job, and it was just exhausting. So yesterday we ran a repeat, of course. That really wasn't necessary because I was here anyway, and I turned out to accomplish none of the things that I needed to accomplish in that downtime. But it was good because I set up the refeed to do that. And I'm glad to know that, yes, indeed, I'm able to do that. That's good. I need to be able to work the automation system. So anyway, still very tired. I'm looking forward to the weekend, even though it means more work at the other job. My hours don't actually decrease very much over the weekend. You would think, oh yeah, but you don't have to start your workday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, but it then starts at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So
yeah, that's not that much of a difference.
No, I basically save 1 hour of work on the weekends. Other than that, it's 6 hours minimum and 10 hours minimum. And 6 hours minimum, that's one of my days off. So,
So-called days off.
yeah, so I tend to overwork myself. But, I've been evaluating possibilities, and I think within the next few months, I will be able to drop the other job entirely and basically retire, in quotation marks, to just focus on radio.
Just do radio. So just Call to Freedom, Free Talk Live, whatever.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that. I'm not sure exactly how to really facilitate it because Call to Freedom, it doesn't make me any money whatsoever. In fact, I lose money doing it every single day. But Call to Freedom isn't the main thing that I'm focused on. I mean, it is one of the main things I'm focused on because it's my freaking show and I love doing it, but it doesn't pay the bills. And getting it up to that point is going to take years. So that's, it's something I'm actively working on, but passively working on, so to speak. So anyway, the news today is that Trump, in a rare show of not being an absolute lunatic, launched a strike on Iran, and I think 10 minutes before it was due to hit,
changed his mind.
It finally occurred to him, wait a minute, how many people are we going to kill? And they said, well, about 150. And he said, oh, wait, let's not do this.
Yeah, never mind.
So that's good. To a degree, that's good. I'm scared that Trump would do this in the first place, right? Because that's not a normal thing to do. Let's launch this attack on Iran, and then, some period of time later, actually think, oh, wait, this might actually kill some people. Do I really want to do that?
He's been doing things like that his whole presidency. He'll announce something crazy and then back off of it later. And he does that. He's done that since Inauguration Day, basically.
Yeah, but I would say there's a very large difference between that sort of thing and actually executing a strike against someone and backing out at the last minute. That's more like loading a gun to shoot someone and pointing the gun at them and then going, wait a minute, I don't actually want to shoot you after all.
Yeah, that's about what it is.
So President Trump said this morning that the United States military had been cocked and loaded for a strike against Iran on Thursday night, but that he called it off with 10 minutes to spare when a general told him that 150 people would probably die in the attack. Now, he says the reason he stopped it is because it's disproportionate to the destruction of a drone. I would agree.
Yeah.
Regardless of how expensive the drone was, and even if we say it's something like $1.5 billion, which is probably a bit steep.
Yeah, the number I heard on the cost of that drone was $220 million.
Still pretty steep, but that's basically $1.5 million for every person killed in retaliation.
Yeah.
It's a bit excessive. To me, I would put the value of a human life at well above $1.5 million. But I'm not President Trump. Evidently, though, he would sort of agree, saying that on Monday, let me see where this starts. It's very confusing how they bedded these tweets. On Monday, Iran shot down an unmanned drone flying in international waters. Well, according to Iran, it was in Iranian airspace.
Yeah.
I don't believe anything the government says about anything. In fact, if Iran hadn't admitted to shooting down the drone, I would not believe this event ever even happened.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And if it did happen, I would say there was probably a pretty good chance that the United States destroyed its own drone in order to blame Iran. So we were cocked and loaded to retaliate last night on 3 different sites. That's sites like SIGHTS, because Donald Trump probably doesn't know the difference.
Donald Trump can't spell.
When I asked how many will die, 150 people, sir, was the answer from a general. 10 minutes before the strike, I stopped it. Not proportionate to shooting down an unarmed drone, an unmanned drone. I am in no hurry. Our military is rebuilt, new, and ready to go. By far the best in the world. Now, one of the things that Republicans really liked about Trump was this whole he's not going to show any mercy to the enemy thing. Is this not showing mercy to the enemy?
Well, yeah, maybe kind of a little bit, but Iran didn't kill 150 people with that drone.
Yeah, but Republicans don't care. They attacked America. They need to die. That's the Republican position, right?
No,
I mean,
apparently.
of course, Republicans are lunatics, but that seems to be their general position. I mean, they wanted Trump to actually torture people. They cheered when he talked about killing women and children in retaliation for things that rebel militants have done against the United States, who has invaded their countries, and the rebels want them out.
Yeah.
So just after 9 a.m., President Trump said that the United States was prepared to retaliate against 3 sites in Iran for that country shooting down an American surveillance drone, but that he was in no hurry. He indicated that the death of 150 Iranians, now is this Iranian militants or Iranian civilians?
Yeah, could go either way.
It could, but I would really like to know which it is, because, I mean, even the death of one Iranian civilian would be disproportionate to the Iranian military allegedly shooting down a drone in international waters.
Though, given the U.S.'s track record, it's probably all civilians.
It probably so. It was unclear why Mr. Trump would have been getting information about possible casualties so late in the process of launching military action. That is indeed unclear. It seems to me like before you launch a strike against some other nation, the first question should probably be, how many people are we going to kill?
You'd think, but maybe it just didn't occur to him, and that's scary in and of itself.
Such information is typically discussed early in the deliberations between a president and national security officials. I mean, it seems like it should be like the first point. Like, hey, let's attack them. Well, this is going to kill this many people. Okay, well, let's not do it. Not 10 minutes before the strike is actually set to hit. Later today, Mr. Trump offered a more detailed version of events, telling NBC's Chuck Todd, the host of Meet the Press, that he had not given a final go-ahead when military officials checked with him a half hour before the strikes were scheduled to launch. So they came and they said, "Sir, we're ready to go. We'd like a decision." I said, "I want to know something before you go. How many people will be killed? In this case, Iranians." The president said the official said they needed to get back to him, but eventually said that approximately 150 Iranians might die. And Trump, in a rare display of not being a lunatic, said, "I don't think that's proportionate." This is the call to freedom, and the United States is beating the drums of war with Iran, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. Freedom freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Welcome back. This is The Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. As always, you're invited to give us a call. That number is 603-283-6160. Again, that's 603-283-6160. Or if you want clearer quality, you can use the Discord call-in lines, which you can find at discord.lrn.fm. Now, if somehow you managed to listen to Call to Freedom but not Free Talk Live, you have not heard of the Facebook crypto. Because we haven't talked about it yet here on Call to Freedom. We talked about it extensively on Free Talk Live.
Yes, that we did.
But not Call to Freedom. Now, this thing is being called Libra. And it's the dumbest thing you've ever heard.
Yes, like the astrology symbol.
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm a Libra, actually.
And its symbol actually is the astrology Libra symbol.
Yeah. Well, Facebook is full of crap. I don't trust Facebook with any amount of actual useful, meaningful information. Holy crap, the new look and feel of Bitcoin.com is bizarre. I was not anticipating that. But the last thing I would trust Facebook with is control of my money. Now, they're calling it a crypto. I'm not, as we discussed on Free Talk Live, I'm not convinced that this is a cryptocurrency. It may be a digital asset, and it may even be a digital currency. That would depend on its utility, but it is certainly not going to truly qualify as a cryptocurrency?
I don't know. You can actually download the source code right now.
Really? Facebook released the source code for this?
Yes, it's on GitHub.
I may stand corrected. That is not what I would have expected from Facebook.
They've already got the testnet open. You can get testnet crypto or testnet Libra and play.
Now, they say, Facebook is saying that they're not attempting to take on Bitcoin and that they are attempting to take on the banks. Now, this is absolute BS.
Aren't there like 14 different banks in cahoots with Facebook?
That's why it's BS. Like MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, these are $10 million mark investors in Libra, Facebook's currency. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think about taking on the banks, I don't think about allowing them to give me $10 million so that they can buy a stake in my new currency.
Yeah, that seems a little. Why would the bank want to invest in a project that would compete with the bank?
Right, and they're not. They're investing in a project that is to compete with cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Litecoin, Ethereum. Ethereum needs to die, but other than that, cryptocurrencies that are actually of use. I'm increasingly moving toward Monero and Zcash. I'm starting to just sort of stay away from ones like Bitcoin Cash and Dash because I'm increasingly not a fan of public ledgers. So Zcash and not even Monero. Monero's like 20% anonymous. It's not that hard to actually trace Monero back to its source.
Yeah, and I guess they had a few bugs in the past that basically made it traceable.
Right. Zcash, as far as we're aware, and Zencash or Horizon are both, they use shielded transactions or some kind of nonsense. I don't know. I don't care. All I care about is that, hey, this is actually mostly private. As far as we can tell, it appears to be private. Facebook's cryptocurrency is not going to be, even if it is encrypted. Now, in order to run a node for Libra, you have to invest $10,000.
$10 million.
That's what I meant, yeah. $10 million in Libra. That should tell you right there that this is centralized, right?
And so far, yeah, if you want to run a Libra miner, you have to pony up $10 million.
Well, if you want to run a node, but if the source code for the currency is available...
Yeah, you can run a node, but you can't run a miner.
No, it's exactly the opposite. You can run a miner, but you can't run a node.
Yeah.
Well, if the source code is available, you can build your own miner from scratch simply by coding one, right?
No, they'll reject it. It's permissioned.
How could they possibly reject it?
Only these 28 players are allowed to mine.
That's absurd. That's worse than Ripple. And it's hard to be worse than Ripple. Ripple sucks.
Yeah, you can download a node and have the Libra blockchain on your hard drive, but if you aren't one of those 28 entities, then you can't mine a block.
Then what in the hell would be the point of running a node?
I don't know. Integrating into your website to take payments, I guess.
This is so bizarre. Okay, so let's back up. Facebook has a cryptocurrency, a digital asset that may or may not, in fact, be encrypted, being called Libra, that they are preparing to release at some point in the near future. Now, they're saying that their point is to take on banks and governments, but the reality of it is that banks and governments are investing heavily in this digital asset. And the true target, regardless of what Facebook is saying, is to squeeze out Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, is to leverage their reach, their audience, their mass appeal to the 2.5 billion people or whatever who use Facebook in order to direct them to Libra and not Bitcoin, Monero, Zcash, and Bitcoin Cash.
Or in a reasonable cryptocurrency.
Right. And I fully expect that not long after Facebook has released Libra, mentioning Bitcoin Cash will become, or Dash or Monero or any other non-centralized cryptocurrency will result in a violation of Facebook's community standards.
Yeah, a 30-day vacation from Facebook if you talk about Bitcoin.
Now, they have already made it against their policy to advertise cryptocurrency-related services on Facebook. I think they reversed this, or at least dialed it back a little bit. Google did this as well. But it wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination for them to say, once again, that you can't advertise other cryptocurrencies and crap like that. Now, if you're thinking about, oh man, this is going to be a huge investment, I need to get it on the ground floor and buy 10,000 Libra for a penny each or whatever, you're wrong.
Nope.
This is a stable coin. It's being tethered to a, quote, basket of fiat currencies, whatever the hell that means. But basically, it's not going to gain in value. This is not a thing that you want to buy 10,000 of in the hopes that it's going to increase, 10-fold or 100-fold or whatever.
Nope, not going to happen.
If it does that, it means it's broken. And it probably will be broken because it is Facebook, but I still wouldn't want to take the chance. Nubits was probably the first dollar tether that actually existed, and it went to hell very quickly with the collapse of Bitcoin value in 2017. It's since recovered. It's just under $10,000 today. So great news for Bitcoin hodlers. Bitcoin is at $9,914. I'm not holding any Bitcoin at the moment, and I absolutely hate that fact. But hey, I'm holding Zencash, Horizon. I'm going to continue calling it Zencash. Monero and others that aren't, so open about what they're doing.
Well, everything else is up too, so it doesn't matter that much what you're holding. It went up.
Yeah, but Facebook is up like 20%, 25% versus the last week and a half, and most of them aren't. This is the Call to Freedom. We're going to really get into this Facebook crypto that is not a crypto, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment.
Free Talk Live.
This is what petty bureaucrats do. They protect their turf. And if you can tell me the operable difference between governments, city, state, federal, whatever they might be, and the most successful gang in a given area, I'd love to hear the difference. I just don't know what the difference is. Yes, government has a funny way of appointing its dons.
Elections.
But that's really it. That's all I can come up with. It's a gang that's figured out, hey, if we let people participate, if they have a vote, that is statistically an insignificant fact that they have a vote, but we let them have one, then they'll feel like they're part of us, and then they can do whatever they want. They cannot pave a road for 43 years and then have everybody claim that without the government we wouldn't be able to pave roads.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. You ain't gonna make it. Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Oh,
Welcome back. This is the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM and the Rational Review News Digest, located at rationalreview.com, is the Freedom Movement's daily news digest, aggregating stories from all over the internet that are of interest to libertarians and to liberty-minded people. They include podcasts, news articles, blogs, and more, and are now a source for people to receive the Call to Freedom's podcasts. So be sure to check them out. Again, that's rationalreview.com. to stay up to date on all the happenings in the wider world. Now, Facebook is sort of the devil, kind of, mostly. Yeah, they're the devil. And they want to control global currency because, of course, they do. This is Facebook.
Yeah.
So,
and that's Zuckerberg. He wants everything.
Good on news.bitcoin.com. As I've been watching Bitcoin just get worse and worse as a currency, I've become more and more forgiving of Roger Ver and some of his what I previously characterized as dirty tactics in taking on the fight against Bitcoin. Like for a brief period, the Bitcoin wallet was actually just a Bitcoin Cash wallet, but because of the nomenclature they used at the time, that wasn't exactly clear. And you had to dig through their glossary to find out that when they said Bitcoin, they actually meant Bitcoin Cash. And when they said Bitcoin Core, they meant Bitcoin. I know it gets super confusing if you're not steeped in this stuff already. And I was very critical of him for that sort of thing because it did. There were cases of people who sent Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash wallets hosted by Bitcoin.com, not knowing the difference because Bitcoin.com called them Bitcoin wallets when they were actually Bitcoin Cash wallets. This did happen. But that's a minor loss compared to the people who are attempting to get into Bitcoin as a currency. Those people are hurt significantly more than those few people who sent Bitcoin Cash to a Bitcoin address. And again, you know, there are miners out there working in Bitcoin Cash who will get your Bitcoin out of a Bitcoin Cash wallet for like 30% of it, maybe 40% of it. I don't remember the number, but you can facilitate it so you're not losing 100%. So I've become more forgiving of him. It doesn't hurt that he helps pay the bills at Free Talk Live and LRN, but I've become more forgiving of him and Bitcoin.com. And I'm proud to see that one of the little headers they use in this article is that Libra wants to be a new global fiat currency, not a cryptocurrency. Ideologically, Bitcoin.com is, and they're right. You know, Roger Ver has always been right. Bitcoin Cash is the truest continuation of the initial Bitcoin block.
Well, Craig Wright would disagree with you.
Yeah, but Craig Wright is a freaking lunatic. He's either dangerously insane and detached from reality, or he's just an abject, uncontrolled liar. I don't know or care which it is.
Might be both. In
any event, I don't care what he has to say. I did not know that he was responsible for Bitcoin SV until like 2 weeks ago because I ignored that whole thing, right? I wish I had not ignored it and that I had, just bought 5 or 6 Bitcoin Cash or whatever, let it split, and, because forks are good.
And take the money, yeah.
Yeah, forks are good if you don't care about the real result in the end. How am I trying to convey this? So Bitcoin Cash forked into Bitcoin SV. So anyone who was holding Bitcoin Cash got an equivalent amount in Bitcoin SV. So if you owned 10 Bitcoin Cash, suddenly you also owned 10 Bitcoin SV.
Right.
And at the time, the values were roughly equal, although it didn't take long for Bitcoin Cash to just completely crush it. But even now, Bitcoin SV is worth like $200 or something.
Yeah, it's over like 220 last time I looked.
So you basically did...
Bizarre, but
yeah,
okay.
you basically did get free money as a result of it. So in that sense, forks are good. No, it wasn't really free money because in the end, it's bad for cryptocurrency to just have these forks of forks of forks of forks because you have people at talk.bitcoin. What is it?
BitcoinTalk.org?
Is that it? Yeah. You have people there who are intentionally forking the Bitcoin blockchain in order to create new currencies and using the excuse, I'm just trying to give you people free money. I've seen it. I swear to God, I've seen it. Bitcoin Platinum was one of the ones that was supposed to do that.
The thing is, if you do that, you have to actually follow it up with a pump and dump.
Yeah, and it doesn't actually work in the sense that it's not actually free money. The value of Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, whatever the initial currency is that the fork is from, will decrease in value of necessity. So you're not really getting free money. You're losing value in one currency and gaining it in another. Now, because of the way all of this works and demand and all of that, you do tend to actually gain money. Like Bitcoin Cash was not worth $650 when the split happened.
No, it was, it was way down.
But if you had 10 Bitcoin Cash then, and therefore 10 Bitcoin SV now, you do have $650-ish for each token. So $6,500 versus the $4,000 you would just have if there was only Bitcoin Cash. So to an extent, it is a net gain, but it's not a good thing for cryptocurrency. So the moment that Facebook released the white paper, I'm actually shocked Facebook released a white paper.
Yeah, there's a white paper. You can read it. There's source code. There's a developer guide. There's API reference. They've got everything.
Burn it, though. They may have everything, but they need a torch. So they released a white paper for his planned Libra coin, and social media was flooded with claims about Zuckerberg's new drive to take over the cryptocurrency market, with some even calling it a Bitcoin killer. However, looking at the actual details of the plan, it has little to do with cryptocurrency. It is, in fact, more of a threat to government fiat. Now,
that's an interesting perspective.
It is, and I don't see how it could possibly be true because Libra is tied to numerous government fiats. Without getting into deep technical arguments about what is a real blockchain, the fact that we even have to have that conversation is kind of indicative that this is not a real blockchain, is it not?
Yeah, it might not be. I didn't get that far into the white paper.
When Zcash released, no one had to say, well, is this a real blockchain? When Ethereum released, no one had to ask that because it's just sort of how it works. But when Facebook releases a currency, the fact that it's even a notable question is significant. It's easy to see that Libra will hold little appeal to cryptocurrency purists as it is neither decentralized nor permissionless. In other words, it's garbage. This is plainly obvious to the people behind Libra, as the white paper's writers take considerable efforts to try and obscure these two critical issues with the project. Now, It's true that the people using cryptocurrency today care significantly about the permissionless and decentralized aspects of it. But these are not the things that are going to allow cryptocurrency to go mainstream. The average person out there does not care whether it's decentralized or permissionless. They should, but they don't. So the fact that Facebook is upfront about how, oh yeah, we're not trying to kill the decentralized and permissionless currencies is really a non-issue, because the average person doesn't care about those anyway. We'll continue to care, sure, but we're going to reach a ceiling regarding how much cryptocurrency we're actually using, because there just aren't that many people who care about the decentralized and permissionless aspects. We have to reach the ordinary people using some other appeal, some other allure. Facebook doesn't have to do any of that with their cryptocurrency. So, in order to claim that its new venture is decentralized, Facebook has surrounded itself with other companies and organizations that will serve as founding members of the association governing Libra and be the network's first validator nodes when it launches. These will be the players who get to decide how the project is run, as well as who can join it later on. And these are people like Visa and MasterCard and PayPal and other large banking corporations that we don't want in cryptocurrency. This is the call to freedom. Don't go anywhere. There's more of this in just a moment.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeen.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeen.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeen.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeen.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeen.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Welcome back. This is The Call to Freedom. And if you've ever wanted to have sex with prostitutes and then arrest them, or bust people for drugs and then sell the drugs on the side for a nice little bonus, or just enjoy the power rush of being a cop without all the paperwork, then you should try the Thin Blue Line game, which you can find at thinbluelinegame.com. It's the only card game in the world that allows you to shoot someone over a broken taillight and then escape accountability with the magical phrase, "I feared for my life." You know, typical cop stuff. Get it now at thinbluelinegame.com and use the coupon code CTF to have all shipping costs waived. Assault and batteries not included. Again, that's thinbluelinegame.com. So go check it out. So we've been talking, my brain totally shut off there for a second. Sorry about that. It's Friday, man.
It'll be over soon.
I need it to be Friday.
It'll be over Saturday.
Yeah, well, it will be over Tuesday, briefly, for one day, and then it will be starting again Wednesday. So as for being permissionless, as we've been talking about Facebook's stupid Libra currency, Facebook is not even trying to hide that Libra isn't going to be built this way. Instead, it just pays lip service to the idea and states its aspirations for a journey toward building a permissionless system.
Eventually.
It only plans to begin this within 5 years of the public launch of the ecosystem, meaning by 2025, and offers absolutely no hint of a deadline for actually achieving such a transition.
I'm not sure how they could do that at all anyway. I mean, the whole point of this is to be a centralized system.
I'm suddenly reminded of Marx's The Communist Manifesto, and how it's like, okay, yeah, we want to have a stateless, classless society, so we're going to build this ultra state that fully controls society, and then
once we have our total dictatorship, the state will wither away.
Yeah, and then that's exactly what Facebook is saying here. Once we have our total dictatorship over people's money, we'll magically have a permissionless system. Moreover, the white paper lists plenty of excuses as to why a permissionless system can't work properly, giving the impression that it is setting the ground for endless delays or outright abandonment of this journey at some point after the project is well established.
Uh-oh.
Shocking. The people that Libra is aimed to appeal to as money are those that don't have access to mainstream financial services and who may never have heard of such concepts as decentralization or permissionless networks.
Yeah, most people haven't.
People like the unbanked in Africa, Asia, the Middle East, and South America who have access to Facebook's Messenger and WhatsApp on their cheap mobile phones, but no reliable and affordable way to store their earnings digitally. I mean, other than, cryptocurrency, I guess.
Which already exists.
Send money to family abroad. Again, other than cryptocurrency.
We can already do that, yeah.
Or take out non-predatory loans. Yeah, cryptocurrency doesn't really make that easy. In fact, it probably makes it more difficult. But I mean, loans are generally a bad idea anyway. So these are the adopters envisioned in the white paper, as well as the environment depicted in the promotional materials for Libra. Now, this is starting to sound a whole lot like Bitcoin Silver, which did have a white paper, and its whole thing was, We're going to bring cryptocurrency to the poor and the unbanked in Africa, Asia, the Middle East, and South America. No suggestion or explanation about how they were going to do this magical feat, but they said they were going to. Of course,
they've got $280 million to play with. I'm sure they can come up with something.
I'm absolutely sure that Facebook can come up with something. And if, those people are actually using Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp, then they have a pretty good shot of being reached. But if that's the case and Facebook really wanted to help these people, then they would simply help them to buy Monero and Zcash and Bitcoin Cash and Dash and Litecoin. They're not doing that, though.
No, it's not about helping people. It's about getting this money.
I don't even think it's about that. It's about power. It's about taking control of global finance. Of course, there are already many ventures aimed at tapping the potential of the vast unbanked market, as well as reasons for Facebook to branch out into offering financial services. Its operations have become the focus of intense public scrutiny recently, with worries over abuses of user privacy, enabling propaganda, limiting free speech, and more. Now, there were a lot of mutually contradicting issues in that. How can they not limit free speech and not enable propaganda simultaneously? If and when major changes to the way Facebook does business are forced on the company by the state, it would be smart to have an additional revenue stream by the state, more or less. For all we know, while Zuckerberg was in Washington, D.C., Congress presented him, or some backroom group of Congress presented him with this idea. Hey, we want to take control of cryptocurrency. We want to, fully take control of global finance, and we can't release government coin. So why don't you do it for us, Facebook?
That may very well have happened.
Zuckerberg must have looked to China and seen how the local social network WeChat leveraged its over 1 billion users to become an online payments behemoth in the country. Well, it helps if you have a monopoly and are the only game in town.
Yeah, virtually everyone in China is on WeChat.
Well, they don't have a choice. It's the only option for that sort of communication. If Facebook can do the same in other emerging markets while capturing part of the profits banks and credit card companies make in developed markets with its monopoly over social networking, the move should make its CEO even more unfathomably powerful. However, Zuckerberg can't settle at just that. How much power does he need? Libra isn't a stable coin, as it isn't meant to be pegged to a particular fiat currency at a fixed ratio, but rather has its own value. Now, this is completely contradictory of the article we read on Free Talk Live that did peg it to a basket of other fiat currencies.
Yeah, that's what I understood, is that it was going to be tied to a basket of assets.
It will be managed by a currency board-like body and backed by a reserve basket of bank deposits and short-term government securities. Well, I'm starting to get a headache. This is nonsense. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Other than, hey, Arya, this is not something you want to be involved in. Now, if there's a potential to make money, I'm not going to lie, I will buy some Libra. But it's not because I care about it as a cryptocurrency. It's actually because I just want to cash out.
Yeah.
So sure, if the possibility exists to buy 1,000 Libra for $50 or whatever, that would be a good investment if it's not actually a stable coin. But we were told previously that it was, in fact, a stable coin.
Well, it's supposed to be a stable coin, but if they've got this board of directors or whatever that can manipulate what's in the basket of currencies that it's tied to, then that value will go up and down.
Well, that's not it at all. It's not meant to be a stable coin, and it's going to be backed by a reserve of bank deposits and short-term government securities, not a basket of currencies. So its value will depend on how much money Facebook has in the bank, evidently.
Lovely.
So it's backed by Facebook's monopoly on social media, which is pretty good, but Facebook does seem to be on the decline, so I'm not sure how I really feel about its potential to actually make money. But, I will probably buy some if it's if it doesn't release at some sort of obscene rate. Like there are new Ethereum tokens and things like that that release at rates of, $1 per token or whatever. That's way too much for a completely unknown investment, right? But if it releases for like 10 cents each or 5 cents each or 1 cent each, yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and buy some of those and just hold on to them and see what happens. Not because I have any desire to use them or any desire to see this cryptocurrency succeed, but on the off chance that if it does succeed, then I will make a fair bit of money. Libra is also different from WeChat Pay, or for that matter, PayPal, Visa, and MasterCard, and it is not meant to be solely a tool for transferring money, but a currency in its own right. Its officially stated aim is to be a new global currency, and one that is more attractive than government fiat at that. Since time immemorial, minting coins was an exclusive sign of sovereignty. That's how historians determine exactly when an empire captured a new land or when kingdoms rose and fell.
So is Facebook trying to become its own country now?
While cryptocurrency advocates wish to diffuse this power away from state control, Libra threatens to usurp it for itself. So Libra, it sucks, and it's trying to become a new global currency. I mean, Facebook is pretty open about that. Don't go anywhere. This is the Call to Freedom.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,388. Silver at $15.40, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,550. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, following China's warning this week that the United States is poised to open Pandora's box in the Middle East should it escalate military action against Iran, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has weighed in, saying Thursday that any military strike would have catastrophic consequences. The Mind Unleashed reports that Putin warned further that a U.S. attack would trigger a surge in violence and a possible refugee exodus. Reuters reports that during an annual televised question and answer session hosted by the Russian leader, he reiterated Moscow's position that Tehran is in full compliance with its nuclear commitments under the 2015 JCPOA. He also slammed the U.S.-imposed sanctions now choking the Iranian economy as groundless. Meanwhile, President Trump has been briefed on Thursday morning's dramatic escalation of an already tense standoff in the Strait of Hormuz, which involved Iran's alleged shoot-down of a U.S. drone near the entrance to the Persian Gulf. Reports say it was a U.S. Navy high-altitude drone taken out by an Iranian surface-to-air missile directly over the Strait of Hormuz, in what the U.S. says was international airspace. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Saudi Arabia has bought $300 million worth of spy software from Israel as part of a large-scale military deal. The anti-media reports senior Arab sources say the deal was struck without a mediator, despite the fact that the two countries do not maintain formal diplomatic relations. The sources stress that the Saudi intelligence services have sought to obtain advanced spyware in order to trace the kingdom's citizens, both in the country and abroad, amidst increasing criticism of the Saudi royal family. Saudi Arabia reached out to the Israeli market and struck a deal worth $300 million with representatives of Israeli firms, adding that both sides met and reached the deal in UK capital London. According to the sources, Egypt and the United Arab Emirates know about the deal, which includes 1,000 small yet sophisticated tracking devices that can be placed in the target's mobile phone. Those attending Burning Man this year might need to reconsider the acid trip on the playa due to a policy that the Bureau of Land Management is thinking of implementing at this year's festival. The BLM might conduct drug screenings at the entrances of the festival at Black Rock Desert. That's according to a report from the Reno Gazette-Journal. Rudy Evenson, a spokesperson for BLM, told the Gazette-Journal that the federal agency could hire a private security firm to conduct drug screenings at the festival, or may wait until 2020 to implement the policy. The BLM released a 2-volume environmental impact statement on Burning Man on June 14th that stated the agency will contract third-party private security to screen vehicles and participants, vendors and contractors, and staff and volunteers entering the event that will report banned or illegal contraband or significant concerns directly to law enforcement as violations are observed so that law enforcement can respond. In an email to SF Gate, the Burning Man group said it's preparing a full statement on the BLM environmental impact statement that they will publish on the Burning Man Journal. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Yesterday, two groups of men shot at each other near Tobagram Base, where I am. Today, the soldiers are happy about some of the men dying and sad about other men dying. Sergeant First Class Aaron Tomlin is only sad about 4 of the dead people.
It's a long, tough day here. We lost 4 good men.
No, 27 men died. 4 American soldiers and 23 Taliban soldiers. You said that 4 soldiers die and it makes you sad. But you said when Taliban soldiers die, it does not make you sad. I asked Base Commander David Hawkins to make it make sense.
The last thing we resort to is hurting anyone. But you have to understand, it's our job to keep the American people safe from our enemies. And sometimes that includes...
So if you kill your enemies at your job, it is not sad.
Well...
What if I killed my enemy Ryan at my job? It would not be sad?
No, you shouldn't do that.
But he is rude to me. He steals my yogurts. He makes fun of the way I talk.
Look, only soldiers can kill without getting in trouble.
Okay. Are you going to kill Ryan?
No.
It does not make sense.
This is the Onion News Network.
Welcome back. This is The Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. As always, I'm your host, Ari DeMezzo, author of Beyond Words and Labels, coming out in about 3.5 more weeks. So stay tuned for that. I really have to finish that editing process. I have not finished it yet. Editing, it's easy. It's just tedious. Joined, as always, in the studio by
Michael Hampton from BitcoinHistory.com.
And although we've been talking about the Libra digital asset being released by Facebook, it's time to move on to other subjects. But first, we've got Gia, who is calling in. Gia, what's on your mind? You're on The Call to Freedom.
Hi, girls. How's your Friday going?
How's the what going?
Friday?
Yeah, I'm outside. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sounds like you're in the middle of a high-speed police chase there.
Not really. The cops are buttholes, but they leave me alone. I mean, even though I'm a young trans woman of color, you would think they'd be arresting me and sticking their nightsticks where, but if I was black, they were. But anyway, no. But I wanted to call in and talk about Iran, and I really feel like what you both were talking about, that this whole Iranian conflict is just absolute unbridled white supremacy. Because the Iranians are not Europeans, a.k.a. rapist monsters, that's why evil Nazi Trump, Sieg Heil, is trying to destroy them. What do you think?
Well, he did... I don't know to what extent Trump really wants to, attack Iran and destroy them. It's more entrenched than that. The United States has been wanting to attack Iran since George W. Bush was in office.
Yeah, this is a bipartisan thing.
Yeah, it's been going on for quite a while. I don't think that Trump is really in control in this particular equation. And I don't buy into the whole deep state thing and all of that, but there is a military industrial complex that previous presidents have talked to us rather explicitly about, and the goal of this military industrial complex is to make and use weapons and sell them to governments.
Okay, and what did all those previous presidents have in common, girl?
They were vicious warlords.
Vicious white rapist monster warlords. Correct. You got a cookie.
Well,
I'm getting
Barack
sick and
Obama
tired.
wasn't exactly white.
Half.
Can you not?
That's what made him evil.
Oh.
Just that half of him was wonderful. Look, all I'm saying is that this is just another excuse to blow up brown people. There's nothing wrong with Muslims. I think we should have our borders completely open. I mean, they say that, the Somalis have 68 IQs, but that's just stupid Nazis. The only reason Africa and all those places are a garbage hole is because the white man, since the beginning of time, has been there stirring up conflict. It's not like these people couldn't build 2-story mud huts. I'm tired of these Nazis. I want to go bash the Bash Girl, and you know what? I might be at the next Fork Fest. Did you have a good time?
My!
Did you say the next Fork Fest or Pork Fest? Porcupine Freedom.
No, I don't want the pork thing because there are too many evil cis white men there that'll objectify me and rape me with their eyes. I was just walking through the hood going to the post office here in the Bay Area, and I have to tell you, I was wearing my slutty booty shorts, and the black men were nothing but respectful. They were touching me and trying to give me money. I walk around the suburbs and stuff, girl, like Huntington Beach. These disgusting white pieces of trash want to rape me with their eyes. It makes me so angry.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't recall ever having been raped by anyone's eyes.
Well, it is there. It's called ocular sexual assault. Look it up, girls. They're going to be teaching it. And one last thing. I know you have to continue, but I feel like we should start teaching the 2-year-olds about drag and about transgenderism. And I think we should start having it mandatory that they watch RuPaul's Drag Race in school and learn about how evil the disgusting cis white man is. What do you think?
I'm not a fan of anything being mandatory. I think if people want their kids to be taught about transgenderism and drag and cross-dressing and all this other stuff, then the parents should, make that decision and expose their children to it. But this is why I believe in competition, and that's the issue with public schools in general, is that they don't have competition. They all tend to have this one narrative that's increasingly what they would characterize as progressive. But, if you actually had competition and private schools and things like that, you would have some schools where children are taught about drag and transgenderism as early as kindergarten or even preschool. And you would have other schools that were not, more like Catholic schools or whatever.
Well, we've talked about this in my local Antifa group, and, the problem is that the state is so pervasive. It's everywhere. So, we can't really compete. So if the evil Republican Nazi monsters that support Israel and all that are going to use that against us, then we need to educate these children. And one more thing, is Antifa welcome at the next Fork Fest? If we wanted to have a giant kill the white man sign, do you think Rogers Campground would be okay with that?
I don't know.
I believe that Rogers Campground would be okay with that. Yes. We were having a discussion recently about Chris Cantwell coming to Fork Fest 2020, and it's a moot conversation, honestly, because we're pretty sure that he was actually banned from the campground and not from the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and that it was the Rogers Campground that banned him, so obviously he's not allowed back. There is a lot of background noise there, if you could do something about that.
I'm trying to. It's the wind. I'm sorry. This disgusting cis straight men control the wind, too. I won't keep you much longer, but I know this piece of trash used to call your show his name with an R that I won't say, and he was even thinking about going to Fork Fest in 2020 and, not causing trouble, but, wearing a skull mask and being, open carrying his Beretta. And I just want you to know that if he
there
does
are
that,
plenty of people open carrying at Fork Fest.
Well, one last question, because I know I called the campground and they kind of gave an ambiguous answer. I think you have to be careful around their pool. But, can people walk around like strippers and stuff, on the campsite and other places to swim?
Yes. There are no clothing requirements at Fork Fest. Somebody may ask someone to put on clothing, but you're in charge. They're not in charge. This random person asking you to put on clothes, you can choose to ignore them, or you can choose to respect their opinion, or you can choose to tell them to look away. You're in charge just as much as they are.
Okay, is Cantwell and are the Nazis coming to 2020? Because if there is, there could be a bloodbath in Ocarina of Time, girl.
There is not going to be a bloodbath. I don't believe that Chris Cantwell is allowed to enter Rogers Campground.
Yeah, last I'd heard, he was banned from the campground.
He is welcome, as far as I'm concerned, to attend Fork Fest. And there was a bit of, bad reaction about this whole thing from me initially, where I was like, if he's going, I'm not going to go. And my reasoning for that was essentially that this is a festival I go in order to have a good time. Having an avowed Nazi and white separatist, white supremacist, however you wish to characterize him there, is going to seriously inhibit my ability to have a good time.
No, I don't want that.
That's what. Well, if I was to go to New Hampshire, I'd have to visit the coastal beach areas and then maybe go to the Fork Fest thing, but who knows? But the point is that we have enough disgusting Nazis, and it's there's no excuse to be a Nazi. The communist Jews that the Nazis say were buttholes that wiped out almost 10 million white Christian Ukrainians in the Holodomor, that wasn't because they were Jews or communists. That's because they were fighting what would be future Nazis even before the war. So the last thing I want to say, Aria, with the threat of white supremacy, Michael, is that Aria, no offense, girl, but why do you continually behave like a straight cis man with a lot of your mannerisms and not say girl? You say dude and we're gonna go over here. I find that a little offensive. It's you're not repping your community, Hanny.
What are you talking about?
Well, you talk no offense, Hanny. You talk like a straight man. You say dude. You say man. I feel like you need to fem it up. I feel like you need to represent. You're a queen girl, yas. You don't say okay. You don't say anything. It's you're just a cis straight man. It's very offensive. You don't rep your community, girl.
What the?
It's not funny.
I don't know where to go with that.
Sure. Okay, you may be correct. I don't rep my community or whatever. And thank you for the call, Gia. We've got to get into Amazon, but it is true. I don't act like a flamboyant, flaming queer person or any of that sort of nonsense. I'm just me. I do what I want. I behave how I want. I don't particularly care whether it falls into one particular gender stereotype or another. That's my take on it. This is the Call to Freedom. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISSparis.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Welcome back. This is the Call to Freedom. As always, you're invited to give us a call. That number is 603-283-6160. Again, that's 603-283-6160. Or you can use the Discord call-in lines, which you can find at discord.lrn.fm. Now, Amazon wants to... I don't use anything from Amazon. I use Amazon Prime like once a year. whenever I think of several things I need to order, and then I just sign up for a new trial of it to get free shipping, free 2-day shipping, actually. So, but one of the interesting things going on right now is Amazon Prime, in following the trend of Netflix, is doing their own shows or something. They have one called Good Omens or some kind of crap that's just making Christians across the United States just really butthurt.
Of course.
And they are petitioning Netflix to cancel it, even though Netflix doesn't produce the show or host the show.
Yeah, how do you get that mixed up?
But they also want to sell surveillance as a service. Coming to us from QZ.com. I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to stand for. Quartz, evidently. In case Amazon's surveillance capabilities weren't extensive enough with its Echo, Ring, and Key products. I'm not familiar with Amazon Ring or Amazon Key, or even Echo.
You probably don't want to know. Amazon Key, this one I know. It actually is a replacement for your doorknob that you can let Amazon come into your house to deliver packages.
Why not just have them set it on the front porch? Like a sane, rational person.
Because a porch pirate might come along and steal it.
Yeah, I guess.
There's been a lot of that in like bigger cities. The people will follow around the UPS truck and then just steal the packages right off people's porches.
Not to mention all the data that Amazon routinely collects on its customers. The company recently received a U.S. patent to provide surveillance as a service. The patent is for an unmanned aerial vehicle, the technical term for a drone, that may perform a surveillance action at a property of an authorized party and could image the property to generate surveillance images. Okay, so they
got a patent for this?
This is a security service that they're talking about offering. It's essentially the same as a security service, only it's being done by Amazon, so I wouldn't really want to trust it. But
running your own drone for the camera.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. So Amazon suggests in its patent filed June the 12th of 2015 and granted June the 4th of this year. Now that's almost 4 years for the United States government to figure out whether or not it wanted to authorize this patent. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm relatively familiar with the way that private companies actually work, and Amazon could already have this service offered today if they hadn't had to wait 4 years for the patent. But evidently, they're saying that drone-based surveillance would be superior to traditional video camera installations that have limited range, are liable to miss things, and can be manipulated or damaged by an intruder. Well, so can drones. In fact, you can buy shotgun shells that contain nets, that when you fire at a drone, the net expands and captures the drone, thereby preventing it from flying. These are legal. The shotgun shells in question are legal, but I would not recommend shooting at a government drone. Drone-based surveillance is a logical next step for Amazon, which has invested heavily in both parts of that equation. The company has been talking about using drones to deliver packages since 2013. I thought they did that. I thought they had in fact implemented that.
Yeah, last I heard they were only testing it.
To the great amusement of FedEx. These days, Amazon's plans are probably looking a lot less funny to its competitors. Amazon Consumer Chief Jeff Wilk said in early June that the company could start using its Prime Air drone to deliver packages to customers within the next few months, as it pushes to make one-day delivery the new standard on Amazon Prime.
Okay, yeah, Amazon will pretty much kill everybody if they manage to do that.
What do you mean kill everybody?
All their competitors, anyway.
Okay. Well, I imagine the competitors would follow suit. FedEx would have their own drone delivery service.
How could they afford it, though?
Well, how can Amazon afford it? FedEx is wealthy, too. I don't know how they stack against Amazon, but they've certainly got plenty of money.
Yeah, that's true.
Amazon's recent patent says surveillance would be a secondary task of such a drone-based system after package delivery. The company suggests a user may want to subscribe to a surveillance system to provide surveillance as a service, which is a riff on the established software as a service category. Now, that's something I'm relatively knowledgeable about because I don't care for it, especially the trend of seeing video games as a service.
Oh,
that really irks me because it justifies them selling you incomplete crap. In February of 2018, Amazon paid more than $1 billion for Ring, the maker of a smart doorbell that sends a video feed customers can check and answer from their smartphone. That doesn't even sound like a good idea. I mean, for like $40, you can get one of the keypad entries and just give the key code to people who need to have it.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have an app on your phone.
That's a positive thing. I mean, that's not a but. That's a plus. You cannot have an app on your phone.
Yeah, and worse, there's this. Apparently, the cops in one city, I forget where it was, they're running a program where they will give you a free Amazon Ring doorbell if you share all the video from it with the cops.
Oh, good Lord. Screw that. Can that even be legal?
Apparently so.
Good God. 3 months after the deal. Look, people, this is not... what is wrong with you people? This is not even that serious. It's your freaking doorknob, okay? If it's serious enough that you need to allow people into your home without, being there to do it, then get a keypad entry system. It costs like $40 at the most. In fact, I ordered one, but due to issues with Amazon, in fact, it never actually shipped, and I ended up getting refunded for it, and it was a monumental waste of time. But just get one of those.
No, or better yet, just tell people to text you when they get to your door.
Well, yeah, but you may not be there, right? And that's where the keypad entry comes into play.
Oh, well.
And that's where things like Ring would come into play. But, I mean, you could also get a $50 webcam and set that up and forward some ports and, you set passwords and all of that because you don't want to be an idiot with an open webcam sitting out there for the world to see. But do it that way. Have a webcam that just monitors your front door, and when somebody pulls up, you can make sure it's them. And then if they're supposed to be there, you can send them the keypad to enter, and then you can change the keypad when you get home if you really, really want to. None of this is necessary. You don't have to give Amazon your freaking unrestricted access to your house or surveillance to your house. And sure, you may not necessarily be able to see every specific corner of your property, but you'll get to see the important ones. I don't need to see the squirrel running through the backyard. I just need to see the front door. I mean, honestly. This is a call to freedom. We're going to talk more about Amazon's stupidity in just a moment.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish a TV show where I travel across this great nation eating pork in every one of our 50 states. Join me on my cross-country odyssey as I make our forefathers proud, reveling in life, liberty, and the pursuit of pork.
You can really taste the cooked pork. This stuff is fantastic. I'm a big salt fan.
Let's pork! We're tasting prime pork dishes in every state in the union, and I couldn't be more excited for this once-in-a-lifetime tour. You're going to be right here with me, seeing everything I do and watching every pork I taste. I'm Jim Haggerty. You know me as the host of Today Now, but I've also eaten in a ton of restaurants. Now I'm heading out on the road. My mission? Find the best pork our country has to offer.
Watch Jim Haggerty's Porkin' Across America at youtube.com/The Onion.
This is the Onion News Network.
How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather keep their clients in the dark. There are too many lawyer jokes to count. However, there are some lawyers with more noble intentions. At the Institute for Justice, we bring the light to our clients. We are a non-profit public interest law firm with clear values and principles. At IJ, we fight for those whose most basic rights are denied by the government. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Welcome back. This is The Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. And before we get back into what's happening in the world, I need to give a shout out to David Jeffries and Leah Hoffman, 2 of our sponsors on Patreon. You can find that at patreon.com/call to freedom. They're currently helping out with the show, helping to keep it all up and running and all of that. So thank you to both of you for doing that. It's really cool of you. Glad you like the content. Of course, that's the best way to reach me directly is through Patreon. So again, that's patreon.com/call to freedom. Now, another thing happening in the world is no longer right in front of me because I clicked something else and now it's gone. So, okay, here we go. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez happened to notice that concentration camps are concentration camps. And this has made a lot of people really upset. Now, this is a rewritten headline coming to us from the Rational Review News Digest at rationalreview.com. Chuck Todd whines at AOC for noticing that concentration camps are concentration camps. That's their headline.
There was a lot of whining at her about that.
Yeah, but more to the point, that's their headline. That's the accurate headline. Of course, the headline that Fox News ran is Chuck Todd calls out AOC over concentration camps comment. Some things are bigger than partisanship. The Rational Review, as you will notice, is substantially more accurate in what actually happened. So NBC's Meet the Press host Chuck Todd called out Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for doing migrants a tremendous disservice by comparing U.S. detention camps at the U.S.-Mexico border to Nazi concentration camps. Now, it's a stark contrast to where we were just a few years ago. It's true. In 2016, people were like, Trump is going to get in charge and there are going to be concentration camps. Fast forward to 2019, just 3 years, and we have people saying, that's not fair. Concentration camps is an offensive term. Okay, sure.
No, what's offensive is having the concentration camps in the first place.
Absolutely. And, it's incorrect and it's similarly offensive to blame Trump for the concentration camps.
Oh, no, these existed during Obama's administration, too.
And during the George W. Bush era. I'm not sure how far back they go, but they go back a very long way. Todd said Wednesday that Nazi death and concentration camps are not comparable in the slightest to what's going on at the border. Yeah, because it's totally different when you round people up and put them into a concentrated camp where they cannot escape because they're under armed guards, typically with razor wire at the top, and allowing them to starve to death or die of easily prevented diseases or of dehydration or any manner of other things. I think like 10 children this year have died at the U.S.-Mexico border in the custody of the United States government. But no, you're right.
Yeah, and not even giving these kids blankets or soap to wash themselves or toothpaste or anything.
Yeah, because hygiene was a big killer at the concentration camps of Nazi Germany. It wasn't just the Auschwitzes out there and the other death camps that killed them. In fact, many people have made the argument, and I'm not weighing on this one particular way or the other, but many people have made the argument that the primary reason that so many Jews died in the concentration and death camps was because of disease and a lack of food and resources.
Sanitation.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not. I wasn't there. I'm not weighing in on it, and I hate that I have to do so much hedging in order to even make a statement like that. But it stands to reason, because most of the Jews who died in the concentration and death camps died after Germany started losing the war and were running out of resources. Of course, if you're fighting a war, the first people to cease getting fed are the prisoners.
Yep, that's how it works.
I don't know what the numbers are. I don't particularly care. I'm just saying that, we're killing people. The United States government is killing people at the U.S.-Mexico border in the same ways that many of these Jews in the concentration camps died. That's how I will phrase it.
And that's why we call them concentration camps, because people are being concentrated in them and they're dying.
Yeah, and when you deny these people soap and baths and blankets, what do you expect to freaking happen? Now, and you want to go, oh, but this is totally not like Nazi Germany. There are Border Patrol agents in the desert, in the Southwest, pouring out water that was put there to help people stay the hell alive. What do you mean this is nothing like Nazi Germany? You are literally trying to prevent people from staying alive when you do stuff like that.
Yeah, the Border Patrol is out there doing everything they can to make sure that these people do not live.
And it's not just the immigrants, of course. There's also the homeless problem and police stations, primarily, I think, in Florida, that are putting bleach in food that is to be donated to homeless people. They are on an extermination campaign to kill the undesirables. And it doesn't matter to me that sometimes the undesirables are homeless people with schizophrenia and other mental illnesses, because the numbers show that most of the people who are homeless in the streets of the United States do suffer from schizophrenia or some other severe mental illness. Or if they just happen to have been born too many miles to the south of the arbitrary line that the United States claims jurisdiction over. None of that matters to me. The state is exterminating people that it finds to be undesirable. And that's an observable, demonstrable fact.
The state's always been doing that, though. It's just a little more subtle about it now.
Well, I think it's less subtle about it now. I mean, they're pouring bleach in food and pouring out water that was left for people. That's not subtle.
That is more subtle than forced sterilizations.
But they're doing that as well. It's not forced sterilization in the state of Alabama. However, you can have your sentence significantly reduced if you allow the state to sterilize you. And there is, to some extent, of forced sterilization. I don't know the details about it because it comes from notoriously unreliable sources that tend to take a little bit of truth and mix it in with a lot of falsehood. Alex Jones. But there is some extent of sterilization going on. Look at Planned Parenthood. It may not actually sterilize people, but it has the same basic effect of keeping pregnant people from giving birth or keeping people from giving birth.
Yeah, that's a lot of what they do.
Could it not be possible? And I don't mean to put on a tinfoil hat here, but could it not be possible that the entire pro-abortion thing is meant to make us sterilize ourselves? I don't know.
It's a thought.
But that's what I'm seeing, especially because we know that Planned Parenthood and the entire pro-abortion thing came about as a way of reducing the black population in the United States.
So that's where they got started?
The bitch who started Planned Parenthood hated black people. It was absolutely a plan to get black people to start having abortions so that they weren't giving birth, to lower their birth rates. This is on the record, right? And now Planned Parenthood, it may have officially moved away from that sort of overt racism, but is it not still the case that, by and large, the people getting abortions are the people who the state would not want reproducing in the first place because they are, to some extent, undesirable? So rather than sterilizing people and doing all of these other horrible things, maybe, and I don't know if this is the case or not, but maybe they're just playing this sort of game of convincing us to, in effect, sterilize ourselves or to stop having children of our own accord. Abortion.
And the birth rate is down.
The birth rate is definitely down. Abortion rates are up. As far as I'm aware, I haven't actually looked into it. That's speculation. So probably disregard that particular statement. But yeah, there's horrible things going on. This is the call to freedom.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Welcome back. This is The Call to Freedom. And did you know that The Call to Freedom is available as a podcast? It is, and that's good news for the people who don't like the commercials, because the podcast doesn't have them. You can find that at calltofreedomlive.podbean.com. Of course, the downside is that we're not live, so you can't actually interact with us at tlive.lrn.fm or twitch.lrn.fm or discord.lrn.fm. But you don't have to listen to the ads. So go check that out, calltofreedomlive.podbean.com. Now, we've been talking about the various evils of the state and the just general crap that it's up to in regards to how it's treating what, we might as well characterize as undesirables. Because whether or not the government is actually admitting that or calling them that, that's pretty much what it's doing.
Yeah, there's always undesirables. This generation, last generation, 100 years ago, it was the Irish, Italians, Chinese, whoever. This year, it's the Mexicans.
So Todd said you can call our government's detention of migrants at our southern border many things depending on how you see it. It's a stain on our nation, maybe, a necessary evil to others. But do you know what you can't call it? He asked before airing a clip of Cortez's controversial remarks. Todd said that the New York Democrats' use of the term concentration camps only distracts from the debate on how to resolve the humanitarian crisis at the southern border. Now, this is a really simple thing to resolve. Stop detaining them. Let them walk past the border at their leisure, at their own pace, and let them continue on until they get to where they're going.
No, this is real easy to fix. Close the concentration camps.
I would like to see Americans who are near these concentration camps take up arms in a literal sense and go liberate the people from these concentration camps.
Yeah.
If there was ever a time to take up arms and rebel, then it would be to free people who are being put in concentration camps by the government.
Yeah, I don't see Republicans doing that, though.
I bet I get banned on the way home tonight for that. That was not even subtle.
Yeah, you might have possibly crossed a line there with at least one of our platforms, but we'll see.
But it's true. In Nazi Germany, the time for the German people to take up arms was around the time that the concentration camps began forming. That is when the Jews or the Gypsies or the Prussians or whoever was being, or the Czechs, whoever was being imprisoned first, should have been freed. And if the government isn't going to do it because the government is the one, imprisoning people and putting them in concentration camps, then it falls to the just, to the good, to the righteous, to do it themselves. And that involves taking up arms, because you won't have to actually shoot any of the Border Patrol agents, and you certainly shouldn't, right? A mass of Americans showing up with arms in order to free the immigrants would cause them, meaning the ICE agents, to back down. You would not have to hurt anyone.
Oh, yeah, you can get the government to back down. What happened was it about a year or two ago in Nevada with, what was his name, Cliven Bundy, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, massive Americans showed up with guns and the federal government backed down.
Yes, so you don't actually have to kill anyone or hurt anyone or shoot a gun or any of that kind of aggressive stuff. Although if you were to, I wouldn't say you were morally wrong. I would say it was a bad decision and that you should not have done it. Morality aside. But you wouldn't have to actually do that. All you need is 200 or 300 angry Texans or New Mexicans or Arizonans or Nevadans to show up with guns at one of these concentration camps and demand that the prisoners be released and set free.
Yeah, that's pretty much about all it would take.
If there was ever a time for the American people to do such a thing, that time is now. Todd said that Todd also criticized other Democrats, such as House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler of New York, who were reluctant to condemn Ocasio-Cortez's remarks. Boy, he must feel important when he reads off his title. I'm the House Judiciary Committee Chairman.
Oh, yeah, that makes him important.
One of the lessons of the Holocaust is never again, Nadler tweeted Tuesday. We fail to learn that lesson when we don't call out such inhumanity right in front of us.
That's a good point.
In order to keep it as being never again, we have to nip these things in the bud as soon as they start. Right. Well, it is starting. They are shutting down Walmarts and turning them into detention centers. So it doesn't matter to me that we don't call them concentration camps like we did, like the American government did when they rounded up the Japanese for the horrendous crime of being Japanese. They called them concentration camps. No, they called them internment camps.
And they still do.
Yeah. They were concentration camps. These are concentration camps. Don't let their vile, deceitful euphemisms distract you from that reality. This is a camp that is fenced in, patrolled, and I don't want to use the word protected, but patrolled and enforced by armed guards, where people are being collected as they're minding their own, peaceful existence, and pushed into them in large enough numbers that hygiene has become a large problem, made worse by the fact that they're being denied soap and blankets, water, and food. I don't know how else you would characterize a concentration camp. Would somebody please explain to me the difference between these detention centers and concentration camps? Because I don't see it. It's a camp where we put a bunch of freaking people.
That's what it looks like to me.
How is that not? It's where we concentrate them into a specific area so that the state can more accurately control them and force their will upon them. I don't know. That seems to me like a concentration camp. It would be incorrect to call these detention centers death camps, because as far as we're aware, there isn't any sort of institutionalized practice of exterminating migrants. There may be, and we wouldn't know because the media certainly wouldn't tell us about it. But I don't believe at this time there is, so it would be inaccurate to call them death camps, but they are literally concentration camps. So I have to agree with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on this. Todd asked, why are we so sheepish? God, I don't know why that was so difficult for me. Calling out people we agree with politically these days. Todd asked viewers, he claimed the issue exists on both sides of the aisle among both Republicans and Democrats. Well, calling out people we agree with politically these days. Okay.
Does that mean Democrat calling out other Democrats?
Yeah,
okay.
It's just phrased very strangely. Are we so ensconced in our political bubbles, liberal versus conservative, that we cannot talk about right versus wrong anymore? Well, Todd, allow me to enlighten you. Concentration camps are wrong. Some things are bigger than partisanship. Yes, like concentration camps that exist, that the United States government has set up along the southern border in order to kidnap and concentrate migrants into a particular area fenced in with razor wire and under armed guard. I don't know what else to say, dude. That is so obviously.
I mean, it's just it's so plainly obvious that I don't see why anybody is even disputing this, but they are.
I want to know. I want to talk to these people. Give us a call, 603-283-6160. Of course, if you're one of these people, you stopped listening to this redhead tranny long ago. But I want to know. I want to talk to these people. What is the freaking difference that you imagine to exist between the concentration camps of Nazi Germany early on in World War II and the detention centers at the southern border as executed by the United States? What exactly is supposed to be different? The only difference, as far as I can tell, is that in the case of Nazi Germany, it was the enemy doing it. And in the case of the United States, oh no, it doesn't count because it's us, quote unquote, us doing it.
Yeah, and we have all the right motives. We're doing it for the right reasons.
Does Mr. Todd here condemn the internment camps utilized against the Japanese during World War II? Does he call those concentration camps? Because they were.
They were, but I bet he wouldn't call them that.
It isn't hyperbole. It's not an exaggeration. It is a literal, actual set of concentration camps. And they need to be shut down immediately. Because, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's so moronic. There are concentration camps in the United States. There have been for quite a while. I mean, they're not new. This is not something Trump did. But now that they're in the news, yeah, take up a gun, go shut those things down. This is wrong. And this should not have to be explained to anyone. This is the call to freedom.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,388. Silver at $15.40, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,550. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, following China's warning this week that the United States is poised to open Pandora's box in the Middle East should it escalate military action against Iran, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has weighed in, saying Thursday that any military strike would have catastrophic consequences. The Mind Unleashed reports that Putin warned further that a U.S. attack would trigger a surge in violence and a possible refugee exodus. Reuters reports that during an annual televised question and answer session hosted by the Russian leader, he reiterated Moscow's position that Tehran is in full compliance with its nuclear commitments under the 2015 JCPOA. He also slammed the U.S.-imposed sanctions now choking the Iranian economy as groundless. Meanwhile, President Trump has been briefed on Thursday morning's dramatic escalation of an already tense standoff in the Strait of Hormuz, which involved Iran's alleged shoot-down of a U.S. drone near the entrance to the Persian Gulf. Reports say it was a U.S. Navy high-altitude drone taken out by an Iranian surface-to-air missile directly over the Strait of Hormuz, in what the U.S. says was international airspace. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Saudi Arabia has bought $300 million worth of spy software from Israel as part of a large-scale military deal. The anti-media report senior Arab sources say the deal was struck without a mediator, despite the fact that the two countries do not maintain formal diplomatic relations. The sources stress that the Saudi intelligence services have sought to obtain advanced spyware in order to trace the kingdom's citizens, both in the country and abroad, amidst increasing criticism of the Saudi royal family. Saudi Arabia reached out to the Israeli market and struck a deal worth $300 million with representatives of Israeli firms, adding that both sides met and reached the deal in UK capital London. According to the sources, Egypt and the United Arab Emirates know about the deal, which includes 1,000 small yet sophisticated tracking devices that can be placed in the target's mobile phone. Those attending Burning Man this year might need to reconsider the acid trip on the playa due to a policy that the Bureau of Land Management is thinking of implementing at this year's festival. The BLM might conduct drug screenings at the entrances of the festival at Black Rock Desert. That's according to a report from the Reno Gazette-Journal. Rudy Evenson, a spokesperson for BLM, told the Gazette-Journal that the federal agency could hire a private security firm to conduct drug screenings at the festival, or may wait until 2020 to implement the policy. The BLM released a 2-volume environmental impact statement on Burning Man on June 14th that stated the agency will contract third-party private security to screen vehicles and participants, vendors and contractors, and staff and volunteers entering the event that will report banned or illegal contraband or significant concerns directly to law enforcement as violations are observed so that law enforcement can respond. In an email to SF Gate, the Burning Man group said it's preparing a full statement on the BLM environmental impact statement that they will publish on the Burning Man Journal. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow reporting for The Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's The Onion Radio News. Teen sex is linked to alcohol and drugs by the Center for Figuring Out Really Obvious Things. This is Doyle Redland reporting. An exhaustive 4-year, $23 million study of substance abuse and sexual habits of more than 2,500 American teens has confirmed that young people between the ages of 13 and 18 who drink and or use drugs are more likely to be sexually active. Dr. Gerald Eckersley is director of the Boston-based organization.
We found that this phenomenon also occurs among adults as well as every population everywhere in the world that has ever existed since the dawn of time.
The center has sent a teleprompter-ready press release of its findings to more than 400 local TV news affiliates across the U.S., along with stock video footage of beer displays and teens smoking and drinking at parties. Doyle Redland for The Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is The Onion News Network.
Welcome back. This is the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. As always, I am your host, Arya DeMezzo. I don't know, some kind of nonsense. Joined in the studio today by
Michael Hampton from cryptotip.org.
And then speaking of, the horrific things that government is up to, the Senate, in a surprising move, has voted to block the Saudi arms sales, despite a threat of veto by warmonger-in-chief Donald Trump. They voted 53 to 45 on Thursday to pass 22 resolutions seeking to block the Trump administration's sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia, despite the White House threatening to veto the package moments before the vote. Good. We should not be selling weapons to Saudi Arabia as they are currently perpetuating and executing the greatest, worst human rights violation happening in the world today. I think it's probably a bad idea to allow them to use American weapons to do this.
Now, it's really surprising to me how much in bed the U.S. has been with Saudi Arabia over the years.
The United States government also talked to them about attacking Iran, I think, prior to the strike. So this marks yet another bipartisan rebuke of the administration's close relationship with Saudi Arabia, which has come under increasing scrutiny in the months since the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi at the hands of the Saudi government. Now, why not, mention Yemen? That's a much big... Oh no, they killed one journalist. Yes, that's bad. But they have killed countless in Yemen. In March, the Senate voted to end U.S. support for the Saudi-led war in Yemen, a resolution that forced Trump to issue the second veto of his presidency. Unfortunately, they appeared to not have been able to override that veto.
Yeah, they don't have enough votes for that.
And they're not going to be able to override this one. Why is Trump, however, able to sell weapons to Saudi Arabia in the first place?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure how that works.
I'm not either.
Or why Congress would have to pass a new law to stop it.
It's a very revealing example of how the executive branch has grown throughout the last century and a half, or actually since the formation of the United States. Does Trump own a weapons manufacturing company?
I don't know. I bet he owns a lot of stuff the Saudis are invested in, though.
I'm sure he does, but as far as I'm aware, he doesn't own any weapons manufacturing facilities. Yeah, so how is Trump selling them weapons?
Well, government weapons.
Right, but the government didn't buy those. The executive branch did not buy those. The Senate, the Congress did, the legislative branch, by passing the budget resolutions or whatever in order to acquire them.
Mm-hmm.
So the Senate, okay, I think I'm beginning to understand how this inanity works. So the Senate passed the resolution to buy the weapons. Then they became the property of the military. And Trump, being the commander-in-chief of the military, gets to say how those weapons are redistributed, I guess.
That might well be.
I certainly would. I would argue that the Constitution, useless though it is, was never intended to allow the President of the United States to sell surplus weapons to other governments.
You know, the thing about the Constitution is it's a living document. It's just a piece of paper.
It is just a piece of paper. It's not worth the toilet paper it would consume to use it to wipe one's rear. It's an absolute waste. I swear to God, I don't get it. I don't get the appeal people have for the Constitution. And I know you're not one of those.
Yeah, I'm not.
But it's such a strange thing to me. And I was saying this before I'd ever heard of Lysander Spooner and his very eloquent and very succinct way of putting it. But, you know, we already tried limiting the government with the Constitution. It did not work. It demonstrably... Why are you gay?
Chat?
Yeah, somebody says, why are you gay? I love that video. Have you seen that video? I assume that's what you're getting at.
You are gay.
That video. Why are you gay?
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay? You are gay. What's that? I love it. Thank you for reminding me about it. I need to watch that again.
Yeah, we actually played that on the air like way back in, I don't know, January maybe?
I don't think it was that long ago, but yeah, whenever it was, trending.
Yeah, it was in the news.
We played it on the air.
It was like one of our first shows together, I think.
It was freaking great. Anyway, so in May, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo confirmed that Trump would invoke an emergency provision, allowing him to bypass Congress. Now, pause. Why does the president have the power to invoke an emergency provision to bypass Congress?
Because it's an emergency.
And okay, but
obviously it's an emergency. Iran is out here shooting down drones that stray into its airspace.
I don't want to hear anything else about checks and balances from another Republican for the rest of my life. Then
what checks and balances?
I mean, let's face it. The FEMA Act gave the president basically unrestricted authority to declare national emergencies and to enact just, and again, let's face it, Nazi Germany-style policies in the process. I mean, you cannot have a sort of, this is a real national emergency, we need to help people and set them up in temporary housing and all of that kind of nonsense. You cannot technically write a law that allows that without inadvertently, quote, wink, wink, inadvertently also passing a law that allows you to declare a national emergency and round people up and put them into concentration camps like we have at the national border following Trump's declaration of a national emergency. This has been on the playbooks for years, and we are now beginning to watch it actually play out. Whew, I came really close to some foul language there. I need a mute box.
Yeah, there's not one for your station because you have the mute buttons right there.
Yeah, I've got the mixer right here, but that's a very small button, and you can't just bang on it like you can a mute button. Wow. But I mean, yeah, that's exactly what has been going on. And libertarians, anarchists, we criticized the FEMA Act when it was passed on exactly this basis, that it allows for the president to go, this is a national emergency, and to institute concentration camps. What did Trump say about the border? He said, oh, it's a national emergency down there. We're going to declare it a national emergency so I can get funding to build my border wall. And, oh, by the way, we're also going to, ramp up our process of interring people in concentration camps.
Well, I don't think he used the term concentration camps, but he pretty much said that.
Yeah, well, no, they're afraid to use the loaded term of concentration camps because of all of the rightful connotations that it involves. Yes, it is inhumane. It is a moral travesty. It is unforgivable to do this to people without even getting into just the bizarrely petty and hateful and vile and evil things that the United States government is doing in the desert in the Southwest, like going around collecting the water that people left for immigrants, so they don't die, and pouring it out.
And trying to put the people in prison who put the water out there.
Yes, that's right. They did do that, didn't they?
Yes.
Or
the
at
jury,
least attempted
it was
to.
a hung jury, so I haven't heard what they're going to do after that. But it was a hung jury, so...
I mean, eventually it comes to a point where it's like, I cannot believe, as jaded as I am about the horrors of the state, I cannot believe this crap is happening. And I cannot believe that people in Texas and New Mexico and Nevada and Arizona are not getting their guns and going and shutting down these camps. This crap continues today, and we're arguing about it on Twitter. Take up a gun. If you're within 50 miles of one of these camps, take up a gun, collect people together, and go fix this freaking problem that you're allowing to happen in your backyard.
Save these children.
This is the call to freedom.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
I just heard the best sales pitch I've heard in a long time on an airplane. The flight attendant announced, "If you paid more than $75 for your round-trip ticket, you overpaid." This is brilliant because everybody on the flight paid more, and I was struck by how all the road warriors stopped typing and reading and working and looked up. The announcement invited us to apply for the airline's credit card, and the sign-up bonus, enough frequent flyer miles for a free round trip. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade. With some banks offering free credit cards, $75 is an outrage for an annual fee, but a bargain for airline tickets. For more tips on communicating more effectively, hit survivalspeech.com, where you can see how I got the CEO of another major airline to shower me with freebies. I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Welcome back. This is the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. As always, you're invited to give us a call. That number is 603-283-6160. Again, that's 603-283-6160. Or you can use the Discord call-in lines, which you can find at discord.lrn.fm. Now, we're going to move on because I'm kind of tired of talking about just horrifically immoral things. So, NASA has been hacked, evidently, by someone who used a Raspberry Pi.
Oh, I love those things.
I have never used one. I've always wanted to. I mean, they're not expensive. They're like $30, right?
Yeah, they're little cheap boxes. You throw an ARM operating system on it, whatever, Linux, whatever.
Ooh, I have a CPU mining rig that I actually need. It works, right? Everything is fine. But I don't have the knowledge necessary to flash a functioning hard drive onto the micro SD cards. You could probably do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
And then we could split the profits. I'll get with you about that sometime. Okay. So in April of 2018, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory was hacked, and 500 megabytes of data from major mission systems was stolen. A federal review of the incident.
Wait. Don't they publish all that stuff anyway?
Apparently not 500 megabytes of it. A federal review of the incident has now revealed that a Raspberry Pi was used to gain access to the system, as well as the major security shortcomings present within NASA's network that allowed the hack to succeed. Now,
yeah, they're scientists. They're not really very big into IT security.
Now, that's more or less the point of the Raspberry Pi, though, is to get people familiar enough with the underlying technologies that they are capable of hacking those people who are not. And the idea was for them to be so cheap that it wouldn't matter if you broke it, right? Doing something silly to it.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole goal behind it, as I understood it, was to make the average person more knowledgeable about the underlying workings of technology and communication protocols and all that kind of stuff, which incidentally would also make them more adept at hacking. Now, it's true, Galaga on Twitch, that's twitch.lrn.fm, has said that they have a Raspberry Pi that has tens of thousands of arcade and console games. Awesome. I just threw that on my Windows PC.
Oh, yeah.
It was easier. It's more powerful. I think with the Raspberry Pi, you're probably going to hit a brick wall somewhere around the late 90s era, the N64 and PSX era.
Yeah, but this is just like MAME. They've got a Raspberry Pi distro with, it's just something you flash on an SD card. It's MAME and like ROMs for a few thousand games, just all on an SD card. Stick it in your Raspberry Pi, hook a monitor up, and it's just like it becomes a dedicated console.
Yeah, but why go through all that trouble when you can just install the software to your PC?
Because then you'd have to use your PC to, and maybe you could let your kid play it while you're using your PC.
Fair point, I guess. I just don't see the point. It's nifty, right? It is neat that one can even do that, but I don't see the point versus just installing MAME onto a PC.
Yeah, if you've got the PC and you don't have to share it with anybody, then by all means.
Well, I'm lucky. I don't have to share mine with anybody. And it's hooked up to my television, which makes it even better when I want to play. Plus, it can play, modern games as well as the older pre-2000 games.
Retro stuff, yeah.
It is primarily used to play retro games. Not lately. Actually, I haven't played anything at all in more than a month.
Yeah, where you been?
I don't know. Where the hell have I been? I have a general idea of where I was last week,
God,
but prior to that, I mean,
when's the last time you actually streamed a game?
I don't know, probably 2 months. Really?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know why. I just, I wake up at like noon and have to start getting ready for my day, and that takes like an hour and a half, somewhere around there, depending on whether or not I took a shower the night before. If I didn't, then it's going to take more like 3 hours because I'll have to dry my hair afterward and all of that kind of nonsense. But I mean, I just don't have the time to play games right now. That's one of the reasons I really want to drop this other job from my whole sphere of things, because that would just be so much better.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, if I have spare time, I'm more likely to spend it playing the guitar or working on a book or something than I am playing a video game. Which kind of sucks because I was getting pretty good at Smite before I just sort of dropped off. So anyway, as ThreatPost reports, the U.S. Office of the Inspector General Review traced the JPL hack back to a Raspberry Pi, which had been connected to the network without authorization.
Oops.
The hackers discovered and exploited the Pi to gain access to the network and then proceeded to access numerous systems and the Deep Space Network. Okay.
So somebody brought in a Raspberry Pi that they weren't supposed to.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. That's a bonehead move on the part of some NASA employee. Why would you even do that? I'm going to bring my Raspberry Pi to work.
I can't think of any reason why you would want to do that.
While any hack of NASA is of great concern, why? Why is it of great concern? Do they find evidence of extraterrestrial knowledge being hidden from the American people?
Somebody might steal the evidence that the moon landing was faked.
I got into an argument, well, not an argument, but a discussion with Rich Paul about the moon landing and his unwillingness to state that he believes the moon landing was fake.
Does he actually believe that?
From what I could tell, he does, but he refuses to say it so overtly, right?
I don't think the moon landing was faked per se, but I know some of the moon rocks have been faked.
That was one of the pieces of evidence that he used. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the moon landing did in fact happen. I mean, the whole world was watching. If they managed to pull off a fake of that scale, then we need to be far more terrified of the government than we are.
Indeed.
While any hack of NASA is of great concern, this one did at least trigger an audit and the discovery of just how poor the overall system security is within the space agency. Well, yeah, if you can bring a Raspberry Pi to work and connect it without anyone noticing, then your IT security sucks.
Yeah, you've been doing a terrible job. I mean, oh my God, that's pretty basic because your basic enterprise switch has got what's called switch port security that you have to have the MAC address of the device that's supposed to be on that switch, and you plug in some other random device, it's not going to work.
The hackers were able to move freely between the different systems within the network because it's set up as a shared rather than segmented environment.
Oh God, no.
This led to a concern that the hackers could potentially gain access and initiate malicious signals to human space flight missions. Why would you have those accessible to the internet in the first place? Oh, because it was shared, not segmented. That would be why. You don't put your critical systems that keep people alive in outer space where they're accessible to the internet.
Yeah, VLANs, do you speak them?
Apparently they don't. Apparently they do speak Raspberry Pi, though, whether they know it or not. This is just absolutely more insanity from the government. I can't even expect better. This is the Call to Freedom. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Tent approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. Freedom freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm. Free Talk Live.
They have satellite image pictures of cities on the moon.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
That's a load of garbage. I've never heard of any such thing. A quick Google search would reveal whatever these lame-o pictures are supposed to be, which, of course, you yourself have never done, right? You've never seen these alleged photos, correct?
No, but it's actually the...
Why would you go around saying that there are pictures of cities on the moon if you yourself have never seen them?
Well, because I heard it on a late night, 2 o'clock in the morning when I used to have that show here.
Yeah, you're talking about the overnight kook show?
Coast to Coast.
Coast to Coast.
Yeah, they banned that show 5 years ago.
No, they didn't.
I used to say...
Who's they?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Welcome back. This is the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcast as always from the Liberty Radio studio here in Keene, New Hampshire. And you know, we libertarians and anarchists, we talk a lot about providing for charity without a state telling us to do it and taxing us to do it. So I found a way for people to put their money where their mouths are. That's the Kids Compassion Charity is currently in Sierra Leone. It's based in Sierra Leone, but it's currently helping people in Sierra Leone, building wells for villages that don't have access to clean water and for kids who have to walk for miles in order to acquire it, helping provided print materials for school children, helping them learn to code and program so that they can, lift themselves up out of poverty. You can find it at kidscompassioncharity.com. It's run by a libertarian known as Mustafa Cole. He's been on the show with us here before. A lot of people in the liberty movement know him, so he's trustworthy and reliable. So go check that out. It's kidscompassioncharity.com and click the donate button up in the top right. We would definitely appreciate it. They finally have updated all of their cryptocurrency addresses because they do take cryptocurrency donations. So if you've got a couple of Dash to spare, and why wouldn't you, or some Bitcoin Cash, or not Bitcoin because...
using Bitcoin these days is just, the transaction fees are out of control.
Yeah, using anything else gives you like 7% more that you could donate if you weren't using Bitcoin. So just avoid Bitcoin altogether. But Litecoin, Ethereum, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, they take all of those, as well as PayPal and other forms of fiat currency. So definitely, go check it out. It's kidscompassioncharity.com. So we've been talking, actually, I want to move on from the NASA hack because I'm no longer interested in it. So, okay, earlier today, we talked briefly about Netflix and Amazon Prime, and it's in the news now, so let's do it. Let's get into this stupidity. It's Friday. I don't want to think, so...
Yeah, let's do something fun and stupid.
Thousands have petitioned Netflix to cancel Good Omens. Now, Good Omens is a show that Netflix has nothing to do with. It's run by Amazon Prime. The group has admitted error in petitioning Netflix. Like, good God, how do you make a mistake like this, though?
You be so out of your mind with anger and religious frustration that you just don't check your facts?
This is like petitioning Pepsi because you're mad that vanilla Coke exists.
Yeah, pretty much.
More than 20,000 freaking mouth-breathing idiots, I'm sorry, I mispronounced Christians, have signed a petition. Not that all Christians are mouth-breathing idiots, but these 20,000 certainly are, have signed a petition calling for the cancellation of Good Omens. I have no idea what this show is about. The television series adapted from Terry Pratchett, I'm familiar with him, not a bad writer, and Neil Gaiman's 1990 fantasy novel. I've never read the book.
Yeah, I have.
So what's it about?
I don't remember. I read it way back when, so I may have to read it again.
Well, they sort of allude to it a little bit. Unfortunately, addressing their petition to Netflix when the series is made by Amazon Prime. Now, I think it was TBS who recently did a show that probably should have drawn the attention of Christians. What was it called? It had Daniel Radcliffe and some other people in it. It wasn't a bad show. It made me interested in watching it. I just didn't because I had better things to do with my time than sit there and watch television.
I haven't got a clue. I don't have TBS.
It was Daniel Radcliffe was an angel. That's Harry Potter for those who, slept through the last 3 decades. And God wanted them to destroy the planet or something. I don't know. It sounded pretty interesting. I just have better things to do than watch television.
It's not ringing a bell, so I'm not sure.
But it seems like something that should have, made Christians angry. So the 6-part series was released last month, starring David Tennant, awesome, former Doctor Who, former The Doctor.
One of the Doctors.
Yeah. One of my favorites, really. Matt Smith is probably my favorite Doctor, but that's because I started with him. And David Tennant, I initially didn't like because of that loyalty to Matt Smith. I'm convinced that whoever your first Doctor is always going to be your favorite Doctor. Simply because that's the one you're going to watch first, right? I don't know if that's the case, but I stopped watching anyway after Matt Smith. I tried to watch Peter Capaldi. I really did, but he was so freaking boring and flat and dry. He was like, he was your old white dude. How else could you describe one? He was boring, old, white, and dry. So anyway, David Tennant as the demon Crowley and Michael Sheen as the angel Aziraphale, who collaborate to prevent the coming of the Antichrist and an imminent apocalypse. Now, this is not the first time I've encountered a demon being named Crowley. Of course, Supernatural did that as well. Is it because of Aleister Crowley that they're doing this?
That very well could be.
I'm not aware of any biblical reference that any
yeah, I don't think
demon
Crowley,
was called Crowley.
I think it's
got to be Aleister Crowley, right?
Yeah, must be.
Pratchett's last request to Gaiman before he died was that he adapt the novel they wrote together. I'm confused. Does that mean Pratchett died? Terry Pratchett died?
Yeah, Terry Pratchett died a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. Well, I was never a big fan of his. I just happened to have read some of the stuff he wrote.
The Discworld series? You didn't? You weren't a fan of that?
I never read it.
Oh.
I don't know what it was of his that I wrote. I wouldn't be able to name one of the books now. I don't think I could name very many of Dean Koontz's books either. And I've read a ton of him. I could name the Odd Thomas books. Well, I know that the Odd Thomas books are a thing, and I've read some of them, but I don't know what they were called. Gaiman wrote the screenplay and worked as showrunner, which the Radio Times called a devilishly funny love letter to the book. But Christians got butthurt, marshaled by the Return to Order campaign, an offshoot of the U.S. Foundation for a Christian Civilization, disagree. I've had a headache all day. That did not do anything to help it, trying to figure out what in the hell they just wrote.
That gave me a face palm.
More than 20,000 supporters have signed a petition in which they say that Good Omens is another step to make Satanism appear normal, light, and acceptable. Well, maybe we should inform them that I am, in fact, actively planning to open the Reformed Church of Satan here in Keene, New Hampshire.
That will be fun.
This is one of the things I am actually going to do. I just have not had the time at this point to pursue it, but I do expect within the next few months that I will have a lot more free time than I do at this exact moment. So it's probably 6 months out. I hope by the end of the year to be, quote, retired and just doing radio and the Reformed Church of Satan and, whatever else random thing I happen to come up with one day when I'm bored, because that's what I do. So that will be fun. And mocks God's wisdom. God, they complain, is voiced by a woman. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
The Antichrist is a normal kid. And most importantly, this type of video makes light of truth, error, good, and evil, and destroys the barriers of horror that society still has for the devil. They are calling on Netflix to cancel the show. Gaiman responded to the petition on Twitter, writing, I love that they're going to write Netflix to try and get Good Omens canceled. Says it all, really. This is so beautiful. Promise me you won't tell them.
Now, I happened to read a tweet today with Amazon's response to this. I don't think it was covered in this article, but Amazon's response to this on Twitter was to say, Dear Netflix, we'll cancel Stranger Things if you cancel Good Omens.
Now, Stranger Things is a show that Netflix
actually is on Netflix. Yeah,
right. I've never seen it. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of television. The publisher and sci-fi critic Cheryl Morgan said, miraculously, God has already achieved this. Don't tell them she put it on Amazon instead. This is the call to freedom.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Welcome back. This is The Call to Freedom. And maybe you really like the show. Maybe you've been listening to it for a while and you've been wondering how you can help and show your support. Well, social media shares certainly go a long way, but so does cash. And you can do that on Patreon by using patreon.com/call-to-freedom. Our wonderful sponsors there are currently helping to keep the show up and running, including the podcast at calltofreedomlive.podbean.com. And at some point, I need to screenshot the QR codes for the show's wallet addresses and actually put them on Patreon. I have not done so because I was kind of at a festival. So anyway, that's patreon.com/call-to-freedom if you would like to check it out. You can sponsor the Libertarian Drama of the Week when there is Libertarian Drama. Just get regular shout-outs, all of that great kind of stuff. Again, Call to Freedom Live. Yeah. Patreon.com/call-to-freedom. My head is full of URLs. I mean, I've said like 15 today, really. So
it's a lot of URLs.
Yeah, it's Friday, which, you know, that means my brain is pretty much not here. My brain hasn't been here most of the week. So let's talk about aliens, extraterrestrials, ETs, the butt-probing people. Because apparently 3 senators have been given classified briefings by the Pentagon on reported UFO sightings by Navy pilots who saw objects flying at hypersonic speed days after Trump said that he didn't believe in it. Now, the key points of this article, let's just skip over those and get right into the article. The revelation comes in the wake of President Trump stating that he had also been briefed on the unidentified aerial phenomenon, because if you remember a few weeks ago, they said they're not going to call them UFOs any longer, even though they are literally unidentified flying objects, and instead are calling them unidentified aerial phenomena.
Well, UFO is a bad word now.
But he said that he didn't believe it. One of the senators briefed was Mike Warner, the vice chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, whose spokesperson said if naval pilots are running into unexplained interference in the air, that's a safety concern. And Senator Warner believes we need to get to the bottom of it. Well, I don't know about safety concern. The briefing was delivered by the Navy and included staff from the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence. It was also reported. This is a lot of parasites on the American people that we are talking about right here. So he's not just the Undersecretary of Defense. He's the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence.
Uh-huh.
It is understood that such briefings have been on the rise since it was revealed that the Pentagon's secretive Aerospace Threat Identification Program continues to investigate reported sightings of alien spacecrafts. Meanwhile, several U.S. pilots told the New York Times that they saw UFOs while training over the East Coast between 2014 and 2015. As far as I understood, the presence of what are we calling it?
Unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah, that's been happening as long as human beings have been flying, and since before, I would probably.
I mean, it's literally in the air, and we don't know what it is.
Yeah. The pilots reported that while flying at heights of more than 30,000 feet over the Atlantic, they routinely witnessed strange objects flying at hypersonic speeds while performing flight maneuvers beyond the capabilities of any human technology and beyond the physical limits of a human crew. They even have nice little pictures here.
Well, they have a picture of a unidentified aerial phenomena?
It does seem to be the case that they do. A nice little gallery to look at.
They have a whole gallery here.
So go to dailymail.co.uk and just look for UFO sightings if you would like to see these pictures. They're pretty upfront about it. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the essay what the expletive is that thing. And again, these are naval pilots, right? These are people whose careers would be ruined. And what I think would be thrown in prison?
Possibly. Yeah, possibly.
If they turned out to be just making this stuff up. So it is the case that there are unidentified flying objects on the Earth.
Here are some pictures. They look like they were actually taken from a plane.
They do.
From a military fighter.
I don't know to what significance there may actually be in these. I'm not saying they are extraterrestrials or any nonsense like that, but I'm saying the American military is, for better or worse, the top-of-the-line military in the world. If the naval pilots who fly the top-of-the-line aircraft say that they are seeing things that are beyond the current technological capacity and beyond the physical human capabilities, then it's probably worth listening to.
It's worth a closer look.
So just days ago, Trump, while discussing the UFO reports with ABC News' George Stephanopoulos, said, "Do I believe it? Not particularly." So Trump is calling the military liars, which is interesting as the military are the ones telling him we need to attack Iran.
The liar is calling someone liars.
Yeah. Stephanopoulos pressed the president on a recent rise in U.S. Navy pilots reporting the unidentified aircraft, asking what Trump made of it. I think it's probably, I want them to think whatever they think. They do say, and I've seen, and I've read, and I've heard, and I don't have an organ, but we fill the crowds. I don't have an instrument. My mouth, that's the instrument, and hopefully the brain attached to the mouth.
What?
It's just.
Are you actually quoting him?
No, well, yes, but not from this particular excerpt. I mean, that's the kind of. This is equally as inane and off the wall and just a babbling stream of consciousness
Are you sure
on
he's
a different
conscious?
subject. He may or may not be conscious. But I mean, Donald Trump may have in fact perfected the ability of turning his brain completely off while he speaks. And I did have one very brief meeting on it, but people are saying they're seeing UFOs. Do I believe it? Not particular, Trump said. Clearly, he meant not particularly. Just had to point that out because it irked me. Asked if he thought he would know if extraterrestrial life had been confirmed, the president replied, "Well, I think my great pilots would know. Our great pilots would know." The same great pilots that he literally just said he doesn't believe. So I don't know. Like I said, babbling. I feel we fill the stadiums. I don't have an instrument.
Yeah, he's definitely going stream of unconsciousness here.
No organ. This is the wettest one we've ever seen from the standpoint of the water. They see things a little bit different from the past, so we're going to see. We're watching, and you'll be the first to know, he assured Stephanopoulos. It comes as Navy pilots increasingly report sighting anomalous aircraft that appear to defy the laws of physics, prompting the service to roll out new guidelines for reporting sightings last month. And as we said, they're no longer allowed to call them UFOs. It's unidentified aerial phenomenon. A Navy spokesman told the Washington Post that the reporting on UFOs would fall under privileged and classified information so that military aviation safety organizations can preserve the free and honest prioritization and discussion of safety among aircrew. Why would that be classified? If you want to preserve the free safety among aircrew, I would imagine you wouldn't want to restrict certain information from said crew.
Yeah, you'd think so. They just want to restrict it from us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they clearly aren't, which is, I guess, good. I mean, they're not like, oh, no, the U.S. Navy, we never encounter unidentified aerial phenomenon. They're like, yeah, we do, and we don't know what's going on. I mean, for the people who have unbridled, relentless faith in the government, that's got to be a real shaking of their faith. You know, for the government to basically come out and say, yeah, there's something going on, and we do not know what it is. Considering what perpetuates the state is this mythology that the rulers, the politicians, the military, the nation
are omniscient.
Yeah. They're supposed to have all the... That's why Gary Johnson, one of the reasons, in addition to just not being a libertarian, that's one of the reasons he was so widely criticized, because he would make it clear to people that he did not have all the answers, and that he was essentially just a bumbling idiot, and that shattered the illusion for them. They don't care if you're right or wrong. They don't care if you get on stage and go, I don't have an instrument, no organ, but we fill the seats. I'm not Elton John. Elton John has an instrument. He's got an organ. This is the wettest one we've ever seen from the standpoint of the water. They don't care if you babble that kind of nonsense. You just can't say, I don't know.
You have to pretend you know what you're doing if you're president.
Yeah, you're not allowed to ask, what is Aleppo? You're supposed to say, well, I think this is a problem that the government should solve, but is currently malinvested in corporate profits in order to actually solve the problem. Hey, don't go anywhere. Free Talk Live is coming up next. This has been the Call to Freedom. We'll be back next week, but don't go anywhere.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed